All right, guys, welcome back to the Tavern Tourney. We are in the beginning stages of the semifinals. With us here today, we have Sunny, our host, and myself, Jesslyn.
Are you a host too?
Hello.
Huh?
Are you a host too?
Yeah, yes, I am a host. Thank you.
She's the hostess.
The hostess with the mostest.
There you go.
All right, Sunny, who do we have with us here today in the semifinals?
So today in the semifinals, we have Austin and Nyko.
You want to pronounce your last names?
No. Let's not do that.
All right, guys. Without further ado, we're going to be doing Katana versus Hitgirl, which we saw in the previous rounds, round 1 and round 2. All right? So without further ado, let's go ahead and go over the rules so that way our competitors don't get mistaken.
Hopefully not. Okay, so the first rule is character only. So no like sidekicks or side chicks, right? Did I say that right? Okay.
Yep.
And then you got to specify your version and what universe you're using them from. And then the third option, only use their usual equipment or powers that they have.
Oh, so it's an option. So they don't have to do this.
No, they do have to do
Joking.
this.
Joking. Messing with
There's
you.
no choice.
All right. So are we keeping our versions from the original choices?
Mine.
Not that you guys have much of a choice. Katana and Hitgirl both don't have.
Many versions.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
All right.
So yeah.
Beautiful. Do you guys have any questions before we start?
No.
I'm ready to go.
Perfect. Well, then I'm going to go ahead and set the mood if y'all don't mind. Let's lower the lights here. All right.
I know, I'm trying.
I don't have that capability.
We're not that rich, guys.
We're
All
getting
right.
there. Nice.
Thank you, Austin.
Yeah, I got it.
All right. So Katana makes her way back to the States after her victory over the savage man known as Craven. As she flies over New York City, her radar picks up multiple gunshots in 2 separate locations. She lands her jet and heads to the closest location. When she arrives, she finds a dead man with a skull painted on his chest. At that moment, a bullet whizzes past her head. She turns to find a little girl pointing a pistol at her. Put that down, little girl. You'll hurt yourself. Fuck you, bitch. You're about to end up like him.
Oh,
Katana sighs and they ready themselves for battle. This is Katana versus Hitgirl. Let's get ready for the first semi-final match. All right. So if you don't mind, Sunny, could you go ahead and flip our coin of Star Wars?
who's gonna decide, Austin or you? Should let Austin decide which.
Yes.
So what do you want, heads or tails?
Chose tails last time. We'll stick with that.
Tails. Okay. Heads.
Woo! I guess it's my point first, huh?
It's you.
Okay. So, doing research on Katana, I've kind of come to a conclusion. I mean, I did get a lot of research in the first match, so I didn't have a lot to go off of. And I still don't, because it's really hard researching her. But the research that I have done on her, I've come to the conclusion that if she actually had the ability to use the Force, she would be a fucking Jedi. Like, no doubt about it.
Sounds
Like,
about right.
she's her capabilities are just insane. What feats she has against, people way higher class than she is, she's just insane. But I'm not actually going to be discussing very much about her sword in this, surprisingly, because obviously the thing that got Hitgirl to beat Punisher in the last match was the fact that Punisher probably wouldn't kill a little girl, and neither would Katana. Katana, in all honesty, would probably not kill a little girl either. But she doesn't actually need to kill Hitgirl to win this fight. So we're going to start with point number 1. Point number 1 is speed and accuracy. Okay? Katana is known to dodge and deflect bullets. There's been a point where she was fighting the Batman Jean-Paul Valley. So Jean-Paul Valley was donned the cape of Batman for a while. He was Batman for a while, and he had that pretty cool suit. It was more tech-based. He was able to shoot like batarangs out of his arm, this thing out of his arms. He came face to face with Katana and did that. Shot his batarangs at her, and she was able to intercept every batarang throwing shuriken. With her shuriken, she's been known to pin people up against the walls. That's a great way for her to beat Hitgirl right there. is restrain her. Just pin her up against the wall with her shuriken. She's also been able to deflect a barrage of bullets coming from planes. Now, this happened earlier in her comic book series before it was pre-Flashpoint, but she's been able to deflect a barrage of bullets coming straight at her. I mean, this is coming from an airplane, and all she has is her sword, and she's deflecting every single one of these. This is why I say she's pretty much a Jedi. She's a Jedi without Force powers.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There is an instant where a Cobra soldier shot at her back. So she wasn't even looking at the soldier. He shot with an automatic rifle, shot at her. She was able to notice it, turn around, deflect the bullets back to the soldier, and hit him with his own bullets while she wasn't even looking. All right. And obviously in my last point, or in the last match, I made the point that she was able to deflect Zod's heat vision, which Zod is pretty much the equivalent of Superman. For her to be able to do that, I mean, that obviously points a lot to her sword, but her sword was only strong enough to deflect it. Everything else was all her. She was able to be fast enough and, pretty much strong enough to deflect heat vision from a Kryptonian, a Superman-powered being. That I'm going to end it right there. Basically, point number one just is pointing out how fast and how accurate she is with everything. She uses her shuriken a lot. That's always on her. And just the fact that she's able to deflect bullets. What does Hitgirl have on her most of the time? Guns, I believe, like some kind of spear and a sword. Well, I already know Hitgirl's not beating her in hand-to-hand or in sword battle. So she's going to rely heavily on her guns once she figures that out. She's going to try to create distance and rely heavily on her guns. That's not going to help her in this case. All her bullets are going to be deflected. I mean, Katana is very much known for that.
Okay.
All right? That's my end of point number one.
Austin, do you have any arguments, rebuttals?
No, actually, I don't. I do have a question though, as far as like where does Katana's skill come from exactly? Like, is that?
She's been training since she was about 4 years old in Japan. There's a line, I can't remember her master's name right off the top of my head, but she actually had to end up killing her own master at one point in her comic line.
Was that Muramasa?
Yeah, but her training comes from original samurai teachings.
Okay. And how old is she?
I believe she's in her age, like in her 30s.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
All right. Any other questions?
Not at the moment.
All right.
Real quick, sorry. So you said that she was actually blocking bullets from the airplane. So like the airplane was like shooting it. So like this is like military grade.
Yeah,
bullets.
you have a minigun.
So not just
her.
like some 45s flying.
No,
okay,
you have
okay.
like a minigun shooting down.
Yeah, it's like
her,
almost 50 caliber. Okay,
This
yeah.
is like the Matrix type shit.
Yeah, she's that fast.
Okay, yeah, to get an idea, because those aren't slow bullets by any means.
No,
those aren't just some run of the mill civilian
you.
type weaponry. So yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, moving on. If there's no other questions, great point, Nyko. Austin, why don't we move on to your point number one?
Sure. Well, my point number one actually was kind of about that. So I know Hitgirl wouldn't have the ability to go sword to sword with her. So I was going to argue the fact that Hitgirl's proficiency is not just in swords, but with basically all kinds of all manner of weapons, and her usual equipment does include guns, such as pistols, assault rifles, like you said, that pole, that double-bladed spear arm thing that I mentioned last time, swords. So the thing about that is, she might be that fast, but you use that as an example of like deflecting bullets. No, when she's deflecting bullets, is she precise enough to actually like deflect them in specific directions? Consistency?
I wouldn't say consistently, but she has been known to deflect the bullets back at the people shooting at her, like I just said.
Right.
For example, where there was a Cobra soldier actually shooting at her back. She wasn't even looking at him. She was quick enough to turn around, deflect it, and make the bullets go back to him and hit him with his own bullets.
Right, right. And you also led off by saying that she definitely wouldn't kill a child, so she wouldn't want to do that necessarily to Hitgirl.
No,
She wouldn't want to deflect it back and actually use her own bullets against her.
no, she wouldn't. So she would be trying to just deflect them or cut them in half, which she's also is able to do.
Okay, okay, gotcha.
Is that your point number 1, Austin?
That was probably it. Yeah, I guess.
Well, I mean,
Man,
like I
that's
said, Hitgirl's the hill to overcome with Hitgirl is the fact that she is a child.
yeah.
She's
It's
a little girl.
the main advantage with that is definitely morality. It
Yeah.
would be more of a defensive on your part, in trying to subdue in a non-lethal fashion.
And I do have I'm saving that for my ending point of how I specifically think that she is going to subdue Hitgirl. But
Okay.
as of right now, I'm just going to give out. I'm building up to that point right now.
Okay.
All
Yeah, gotcha. I'll let you do that then.
right. Well, I guess if that's it, I'll move on to point number 2. I know you said in your last match that Hitgirl was able to defeat her biggest opponent was Mother Russia, right?
Yeah.
All right. So Mother Russia, I read up on her. I remember reading the comic book itself, and I watched the movie as well. Unfortunately, for Hitgirl's case, I think Mother Russia is in the DC world would be no more than just like a normal thug level. She wouldn't be any type of main character or anything like that. But just kind of basing off of that, a similar character that Katana has faced is a character called Sickle. The only issue with this is Sickle's, well, she has a sickle for one, and she's like Mother Russia on all the steroids ever. She was part of a Soviet superhuman team. And I mean, she was good enough to take down Catwoman, which I mean, I believe Catwoman is at the skill level. She could also take down Hitgirl, pretty much anyone in the Kick-Ass universe. But she was able to take down Catwoman. Now their first encounter was a little. Sickle was able to kind of get the upper hand. Second one, Katana took her down handedly, no problems. She was also able to defeat a character named Sophia. Now, Sophia is a metahuman. I don't really know what her powers really are. So that's her powers aren't really what's important in this point. The point is she was trained by Ra's al Ghul himself. She was trained by Ra's al Ghul himself, who's one of Batman's main, adversaries. And Katana pretty much defeated her without actually going all out. She actually was holding back as she was fighting Sophia, trying to bring her back to, the good side pretty much. Sophia was pretty much integrated with Ra's al Ghul. He brainwashed her and was trying to make her into a weapon and was training her. And Katana was able to pretty much make her yield, subdue her, and wasn't even going all out. Another big win, or not really a win, but I would say this is a good point for Katana. She was actually able to get the upper hand over Deathstroke, who was another like Batman tier villain. She was able to get the upper hand to the point where he had to actually run away. So Katana has faced these master martial artists. I know Hitgirl was trained by Big Daddy, and that's where she developed her own skill after that. But to beat somebody who was trained one-on-one with Ra's al Ghul, I think that's quite a bit tier higher, and Katana was able to handle that no problem. I'll bring back another point I brought out in the first match. She was able to beat Killer Croc in somebody else's body, and she was unarmed. You know what I'm saying? So in this line, there was a Cobra soldier named Eve. Now she was pretty proficient, but when their bodies were switched, Katana even admitted that her Eve's body was kind of insufficient. It wasn't as good as Katana's body was. She was able to use Eve's body unarmed and beat Killer Croc. So that's just a couple of her feats that I think are really good points because I don't think Hitgirl has actually taken on anybody at this caliber. Obviously, I brought up the Zod point last. She was able to handle herself with a Kryptonian. So I don't see Hitgirl handling herself with a Kryptonian. So that's going to be my end of point number 2.
Okay. Rebuttal time. So you make really good points with all of that, and that's also the same kind of disadvantage I had against Punisher in the first round. Is that Hitgirl comes from a vigilante comic, and there is nobody with powers. There's nobody like that. There's nobody on that scale. In fact, like during like the comics, and I don't watch the movies, but I'm sure like the characters are comic geeks, and that's why they want to do this vigilante thing anyway. And it actually showcases the actual Marvel comics inside the Kick-Ass comic itself. So the characters that you're talking about are all on the scale of comic and fiction in this world, which brings up a difficulty in the comparison of scale. Regular people versus actual people with superheroes. So to make this like a more even fight
Mm-hmm.
would be to look at it in a sense of either scale Katana down to Hitgirl or scale Hitgirl up to Katana's level.
Well, the thing I would say with that is Katana's a regular human. I mean, I understand I bring up feats that she's fast enough to deflect bullets and things like that.
Yeah, military grade from a plane. I
In,
don't know any human kind of.
in the DC writings, she's not written as any type of metahuman. She has no extra powers or anything like that.
Sure.
If you are going to scale her down, she still has the martial arts proficiency to take on Hitgirl no problem. And like I said, my third point is kind of going to seal that. I would say an advantage you would have in your universe because you have the Marvel comics and DC comics in that universe, they have knowledge on all these characters. They
Right.
at a time what these characters' powers are, or what their skill sets are, things like
So
that.
I don't know, since copyright material and all that, I don't know if the DC comics are necessarily in this universe, but going back to my point though, like you just said, if we were to scale down Katana to more of a Hitgirl level, um, you said her martial arts would outskill Hitgirl, but Hitgirl does have that wider arsenal and the more proficiency than just Katana,
Mm.
She has sword and gun and all this, and against somebody on the same level as her, there's no way that would lose to just a Katana.
Okay.
On the other aspect of it, if you scale up Hitgirl to more of a comic book character, I believe you said this one time. I don't remember if it was in a show or not, but Hitgirl has been compared to having the like equivalency of like a Robin, one of the Robins.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess the question would be then, is Katana capable of taking out a Robin?
I would say Katana can take down most of the Robins. I'm not going to say anything about Red Hood or Damien. Tim Drake's more of a detective style. She's been able to, and she's been around the Robins to where she understands their fighting style. She could definitely take down Damien. And I believe Hitgirl is equivalent to Damien. He's the youngest of the Robins. He's actually the direct descendant of Batman himself. And I would say Hitgirl is the equivalent of Damien. I would say Katana can more than easily take down Damien.
Based on skill.
Based on skill. You got to remember, Katana didn't beat Sophia because she had any metahuman powers. Sophia was actually a metahuman, and she was trained by Ra's al Ghul. Katana was able to defeat her while holding back just based on her martial arts skill. It wasn't exactly because of any type of superhuman ability.
All right.
All right.
So
Austin, that was your rebuttal, correct?
Yep, that was it.
All right, let's go on to your point number 2 then.
All right, so Point number 2. The scene was already set for this, which kind of puts one of my main points about Hitgirl at a big disadvantage here. Would be the ability to strategize. Like if Hitgirl has, like the objective in mind or knows what she's going up against, or even if there was DC Comics in the Kick-Ass universe so that she could read and actually knows about Katana before Katana appears, then she could think of a way to prepare for that and either set a trap or come at Katana in a way
I mean,
where she would become victorious.
I would say that your point will still stand though, because the way the scene is set, Katana's coming into an area that Hit Girl's already been at. I'm coming into your battlefield with Punisher, so you understand your surroundings better than Katana does.
Sure.
So you would understand better vantage points, better areas to hide, and I know Hit Girl will be able to hide very well too.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that does go towards your point. I'm not trying to help you out, but I mean, just thinking of it on a separate, on a different vantage point, that it would still apply.
Sure.
So,
assuming the anticipation of Katana's arrival.
yeah, I mean, like I said, the scene was already set where Katana walks up
Right.
to Punisher, and Hit Girl was able to whiz a bullet past her head and sneak up on her. So, she does have the element of surprise in that aspect.
Absolutely. All right, Nyko. Point number 3, last and final point.
Yep. My last point, and this is the point that I feel is going to seal it for Katana's victory, is that this is a main thing that Katana uses in her fighting style in general, is her nerve strikes. Now, I have one main example of her nerve strike just because of the person she used it on. But I mean, she uses these nerve strikes when she's fighting against the Cobra organization. When she's fighting with the Outsiders, when she's fighting with Suicide Squad, no matter where, she's using this all the time against anyone. But specifically, this example, she was able to sneak up, and granted, just remember, she snuck up on him before she landed the strike. So there's a character named Geoforce. He was actually one of the original leaders of the Outsiders. Now, Geoforce is the reason why this stood out to me is these are a few of Geoforce's powers. He has superhuman strength, speed, endurance, stamina, the normal shit like that. He has manipulation over heat, earth, gravity. He has a healing factor. But the thing that is most impressive is he has a nigh invulnerability, meaning that he's invulnerable. You could barely pierce his skin. Katana was able to sneak up on him, hit him with the nerve strike, and put him down, like for a few panels. I mean, a good enough time for her to drag him out to a ditch and bury him if she wanted to. You know what I'm saying? On a character like that, the fact that she uses these nerve strikes so much, and her speed, the reason why I was setting this up with even point number 1, her speed and agility and everything like that, she's going to be more than fast enough to close the distance and land one of those nerve strikes. She's not trying to kill Hit Girl. You know what I'm saying? I'm openly admitting that right off the bat, because if she was, this would be a whole different battle. But the fact that she's not trying to kill Hit Girl means that she's going to rely on these types of strikes way more than anything. And she's done things like set up. She fought a villain called, I think she was called the Looker, which she was a psychic vampire. So in order to get close enough to land a strike on this vampire, she distracted her with shuriken, closed the distance, and landed her strike. She's going to be able to do that. Like I said, once Hit Girl realizes she can't fight close quarters with Katana, she's going to move back. She's going to try to create distance and use her guns. Katana is going to notice that. She's going to be fast enough to react to it, get in close, and use one of those nerve strikes on her and put her out. And that's how I believe Katana is going to win this battle. So that's point number 3.
Great point, Nyko. Any rebuttals for you, Austin?
Nope. I think the best maneuver there would just be to go into point number 3, which is kind of the same as my last one against the Punisher. In that Hitgirl is ruthless and she will not hold back. So all of this is assuming that Katana is fast enough to close the gap, use those nerve strikes, and subdue Hitgirl while being on the defensive and trying to save her own life, because Hitgirl is ruthless and will do everything she can to kill. So I guess it would really come down to Katana's speed at that point, you know, to be able to find the openings and also protect herself against more lethal strikes.
Yeah. I mean, I do have if that's any of your point, I do have a rebuttal for it.
Sure, go for it.
So my rebuttal to that will be is, how old is it, girl?
12
She's
and a
12.
quarter.
If I'm not
And a quarter.
mistaken,
Mhm.
if I'm not mistaken, in the comics she was just hitting puberty at the time.
Yeah.
So, with that all being said, Katana is a seasoned warrior, trained under the discipline of a samurai. Hitgirl is a 12-year-old that was trained by her dad. She's going to get frustrated when she's not winning. She's used to winning. Now, I understand that when she fought Mother Russia, she was able to dig deep, but even in that fight, she got frustrated.
Mhm.
When she gets frustrated, she's going, and this is the same point I made against Craven, is that when the battle goes on and it gets really heated, and Hitgirl finds herself on the losing end, she's going to get frustrated and she's going to start making mistakes. And that's when Katana is going to be able to land one of those nerve strikes. Because when her swords are broken, her spear is broken, and Katana is still closing a distance too close for her to be able to use her guns efficiently, she's going to get flustered. And again, she's a 12-year-old and she does not have, the discipline to be able to handle that.
Can I just say that, have you ever been around a pre to mid-pubescent 12-year-old girl? They're scary.
I get that.
They're very scary.
I get that. I've had my two cousins. I was with them when they were going through that, and they came at me with everything. But that doesn't mean that I wasn't able to restrain them when they were getting a little too crazy.
They didn't have swords.
Well, but put it this way, Nyko would take the ball to their face, like, what was it, one of those kickballs?
Yeah.
To their face, and they would laugh.
Yeah, they're scary.
Scary.
Yeah.
JJ had a lot of weapons sometimes. But yeah.
I'm just saying that right there is a little bit of a challenge to go up against. I mean,
and like I said, my counter to that is Katana is a seasoned warrior, and she was brought up under the samurai discipline.
And she's not gonna know what to do with the crazy ass.
No, so she's going to be like, she's going to come in and she's going to just bam, put her down because she doesn't want to deal with it no more. Make it go away.
That's me one of those.
Exactly.
Now what's gonna be scary is when Hitgirl just eats that hit and just like, you got another one?
And she gets another one. So that's how I feel this battle is going to go out. It's going to go, Hitgirl is going to obviously try with the swords first. She's going to get her swords broken because Soul Taker will cut through them. Now, Soul Taker is not going to be a huge, feature in this battle because Katana is obviously not going to be trying to kill Hitgirl. So once the swords are broken, the spear is broken, and she tries to create distance to use her guns, Katana is going to do something to distract her or something to close that distance. As Hitgirl is seeing this happening, she's going to start getting frustrated that she can't get the upper hand. And that's when she's going to make a mistake, and that nerve strike's going to come in and knock her straight out cold. So that is my conclusion of this match.
Austin, do you have a different hypothesis or conclusion? Not that
What?
Not that it's required, but
Okay, good, because I don't.
oh, come on, Austin.
Man, I mean,
Right?
It's not, but I mean,
Come on.
it's not. I mean, I was really surprised that I won over Punisher. So
Well done, buddy.
the fact that I got this far is pretty good.
Well,
It's a victory.
we'll see.
Yeah.
We got 3 judges that are gonna make the decision. I think the whole fact that Hitgirl is a little kid is a really hard hurdle for anyone except for maybe the Shredder.
Well, I mean, even to go back to that point, I mean, even what he was saying, even if you scaled them either way, there's gonna be that huge experience gap, and that just comes with Hitgirl just being too young, not having enough time to develop that experience, and then Katana being around the world multiple times, doing multiple things. She's just gonna win just based off experience alone, pretty much. So it's kind of an uphill battle that way.
I mean, here's the thing that, to Austin's point, is it does just depend on if Katana is fast enough to close the distance. Hitgirl is very accurate with her guns. Not that Katana has ever not, faced anyone with guns, but if you do scale them down, she may not be as fast. She's damn near superhumanly fast.
Mhm.
So I believe Soul Taker will break her swords, break her spears. So the deciding factor is, 1, if Hitgirl can keep her cool long enough, and 2, if when she creates space, can Katana close that space fast enough before guns are flying and bullets are flying at her?
Now, can we talk about something here for a second? As a host, I'm kind of embarrassed to be asking this now, but do you think Katana is actually a street level fighter then if she has almost superhuman?
She has to be Craven. I mean, I'll run down the list of why each person is. Raphael has first of all the version that Darian brought with Raphael. He's already superhuman. He has superhuman strength. He has a fucking damn near invulnerable shell. You know what I'm saying? And now he has a shredder armor. Craven in recent tellings is damn near immortal because of the potion that he was given. But he also has these potions that make him superhuman. The comedian, I still don't know too much about.
But that's all with added things too.
Okay.
That's the difference.
Well, I think
though,
with
is...
each one's like plus and minuses, it equals out to give each one a fair, like, because I mean Punisher versus Raphael. I mean Punisher. I mean, yeah, he may not be strong like Raphael, but he's definitely got the experience with
Here's an example. Punisher was stated in the comics to have a damn near superhuman level of pain tolerance.
Mm-hmm, exactly.
So,
but at the same time, mind over matter.
No, not his mind. No one has his mind over matter. That's the difference.
Yeah, because he's been shown to get shot.
He's a regular human, and he's beaten Wolverine. He's gone toe-to-toe with the Hulk.
Okay, but with training mentally, or possibly some nerve damage where he's maybe slightly numb and we just don't know about it.
It's not even. I mean, Reed Richards did tests on him, and that's what it came out to. He just has a superhuman pain tolerance.
Can he go through labor for me?
Probably. He probably smiled doing it. Like, this is a fucking cakewalk. I mean,
that's a real man right there.
The comedian, I knew he had some superhuman strength abilities. He was able to punch through walls and shit.
Mm-hmm. Brick walls.
Yeah, brick walls.
Okay, there's people in Thailand that can do that.
No.
But those bricks are technically already broken.
Also, the trees they're kicking are banana trees.
Yeah, exactly.
Trees. That you can go down the list. Hitgirl has a fucking serious pain tolerance too. She's taking her fucking beatings.
I was gonna say, you watch the movies, they get the shit beat out of them.
Oh,
I mean, sorry,
for days.
language, but yeah, they get the crap. Absolute. I'm like, damn.
Hitgirl, I think her power over everything in this is the only 2 people that would be willing to kill her is probably the comedian and Shredder.
Man, she is incredibly gifted for being her age.
Exactly.
And the stuff
So
that she got.
She's close. She's got the skill, and she's got the fucking weapons, and most of these characters in the tournament would not kill her.
Except for the Shredder. I feel like the Shredder probably
would
have
no
remorse. Yeah, exactly.
Disgusting.
Yeah. Craven's kind of on the edge, to be honest.
It depends on what potions he's taking at the time.
Yeah.
That's
Punisher. Another potion.
All right, guys, we've touched on that quite a bit. All right. So you guys heard it here first. I know Austin is probably exhausted. I know you're an hour behind us and you were up super early this morning. And so are we.
I was up super early this morning.
I know, but we're also talking about our guests here as well.
I was up. If anybody cares, I was up pretty early. So.
What time are you up?
No, you come in late to work every day.
Because I was up early to be late, okay?
What time did you wake up?
That doesn't make any sense.
It's a method behind the madness.
And
No,
you didn't
it's
even bring
not.
me
I woke
food.
up at. You didn't text me. Okay, this is not going to be on the recording. All right. Cut. No, I'm just kidding.
That was gonna be on the recording. But anywho, I know we're all tired, so you guys heard it here. Hitgirl versus Katana. Thank you. I'm exhausted.
Well, really quick, a couple announcements. All these Tavern Tourneys, the audio you can find under our other podcast title, The Geek Tavern, in case anyone's been trying to look for it and can't find it. The results of last match are going to be out this week. We just had a kind of crazy weekend. We went to a funeral and a couple things. I got the episode out late for one and haven't given our judges really that much time to make the decision. So our judges will get back to me, and one of them already has. So we have one vote, and we're just waiting on two more. And then all the links and everything, the YouTube link, the audio links, everything like that, they're always posted on our group page on Facebook, The Geek Tavern. And yep, that's pretty much it. We'll also get with our judges and send them this and see what they decide. So.
All right. Can I just say something? Because I know Sony's been laughing at me this entire time. Can we put a beginning challenge when you first start this podcast that whoever's watching, every time that I yawn, they have to take a shot?
Oh, yeah. There we go. Yeah. You guys probably don't want to play that game. You're going to
Dude,
lose.
are you trying to kill us?
Yeah, no, yeah.
We want listeners now. We don't
I've
want
been
to kill
technically
them.
counting. Probably up to 10 or 11 at this point.
Damn.
Especially if it's tequila shots.
I want them to laugh by the end of this,
Laugh, they'll be dead.
They'll be laughing to the freaking funeral home.
What?
All right, guys. Well, this has been the Tavern Tourney. Thank you, Nyko, and thank you, Austin, for competing today. Austin, you've been mellow as always. But all right, Sunny, any last words?
You guys are awesome. Thank you for watching.
Woo!
I'll be hosting again on Friday, guys.
We might kick him out. All right.